3 years. A full 3 years now. System, you told me to build this sandbox world. Now the roads are laid, bridges are built. I've even grown several seasons of crops. Could this progress bar of yours move at least a little? Keep this jade pendant safe. It's the key to opening Zoofing Peak, and the key to unraveling the secret of ascension. Push towards Zoofing Peak, move. Now that the sect is destroyed, only by entering the Zoofing forbidden grounds can we seize a sliver of hope. Little whelp, hand over the Konglin Jade Talisman. This seat might spare you a remittent soul. Ancient mountain protecting grand formation, activate. A spent arrow, you dare place hope in this paltry formation? This seat shall raise even Zoofing Peak this very day. Hey, now that's strange. My studio's doors and windows are sealed tight. I just finished building this sterile model. How did two bugs get out of thin air? This bright red one, could it be some new mutant giant ant? Run. Why aren't you running? Now that this is Konglin's Zoofing Peak, the back mountain is rich in spiritual energy, a fitting burial ground for you. What the? This red bug can spray red fluid, too. My premium live moss. I paid a fortune for this. You've dared dirty my model. Time for a physical exorcism. HM. This is impossible. What kind of heavenly Tao divine artifact is this? Done. Good thing I wiped fast. Otherwise this section would have been ruined. Gone? The peerless terror that shook the entire Konglin realm. The old demon, just like that. Erased by a white bead from the heavens. Casually, effortlessly. The heavenly Tao. This is the living heavenly Tao, sir. Looks a bit dirty. I'll need to clean it with that brush. Huh, this thing actually glows? Yin Mo, a female disciple of the Konglin sect, kowtows in gratitude to the supreme heavenly Tao for saving my life. Well, I'll be. The models in this sandbox aren't just alive. They've got built-in Neuralink and holographic subtitle translation. Ahem. So, you can get up now. Stop kowtowing. I'm not really into that. The heavenly Tao actually responded to me, unbound by worldly customs. The heavenly Tao is merciful. I've comprehended the wood element. It can actually understand me. This is more thrilling than playing a full VR game. These little people weren't put in by the system, were they? Wait, that giant ant I just killed with a cotton swab. Was that a little person too? Whatever, not my problem. He shouldn't have ruined my imported moss. The outer sex may be broken. But as long as we hold the ancestral grounds, there's hope. Lin Gi's Wang. And the outer disciples are still hiding in the underground. Secret chamber, but without resources. They can't last much longer. I must find a way to save them. Great heavenly venerable. For 10,000 years, no one has been able to absorb a sliver of this stone. In the cultivation world, it's regarded as a useless 7-colored spirit stone. Mushy owns nothing of value. So I offer this stone, if only it might bring a smile to the heavenly. Venerable, Sandbox progress. 1. Congratulations, host. You have obtained the 7-colored spirit stone. This stone is indestructible, impervious to fire and water. Wait, system, so you really did bring these little people into the sandbox? One little person comes in, progress goes up 1. So if I get enough little people, my sandbox progress can max out? But the problem is, where do I find little people? Whatever, let's check out this stone first. Indestructible, impervious to fire and water, and it glows with 7-colored light. What kind of creature is this? No spiritual energy fluctuation at all, yet it exudes a terrifying pressure of ultimate simplicity. This isn't some worthless spirit stone. This is a naturally flawless, fancy pink diamond, and the purity is absolutely insane. Mr. Chun, this clarity is truly flawless grade. Color reaches fancy, vivid pink. Our pawn shop is willing to buy it for 800,000 one-time offer. Is that acceptable? No problem. Is that acceptable? No problem. 800,000? A worthless stone in the cultivation world. But under the physical laws of the real world, it's a priceless treasure. Since she called me Heavenly Tao and paid such a hefty protection fee, as a deity, I should probably act like one. Next step, upgrade the equipment. Time to start farming. Boss, give me a set of top tier, full spectrum LED plant grow lights with a sunlight simulation system. Also a micro high pressure ultrasonic atomizer and a highest grade multidimensional nutrient solution. Steward Lin and the disciples are still waiting for me in the underground river palace. But Zufeng Peak is now ruins. Where's the future of my Konglin sect? Little girl, don't be sad. Watch closely. The Heavenly Tao will show you a magic trick. 9th rank Mystic Void? Could this be the auspicious sign of world creation, recorded in ancient texts? The life essence in this mist is so dense, it's beyond belief. The Heavenly Venerable didn't despise my offering. Instead, he bestowed the legendary Immortal Grace, rebuilding the very foundation of my Konglin Zufeng. Now that's a healthy miniature ecosystem. Good work, little girl. From now on, you handle treasure hunting in there. I'll handle the cyber infrastructure out here. Let's grow big and strong, create glory together. Nascent Soul, in just 3 days, I leapt across 3 major realms, breaking straight through to Nascent Soul. This is unheard of in the history of the cultivation world. Haha, a divine treasure has indeed appeared. No wonder the spiritual energy here surges to the heavens. Even I could sense it from tens of thousands of miles away. Sect Master Xiao, you lead your men to forcefully breach my Konglin Zufeng Peak. What is your intention? Little girl of the Yun family, your Konglin sect has only you left. Such a blessed paradise, defying heaven's will. This old man is here today to take over this ancestral fortune. Be wise and hand over the Jade Talisman now, or get out, or I'll destroy your very soul. It's over, completely over. The Shimming sect has thrown their entire sect's power into besieging our last Zufeng Peak. This ancestral land is a blessing, bestowed upon my Konglin sect by the Supreme Heavenly Tao. You dare to seize it by force. Do you not fear the heavenly Tao's divine punishment? Divine punishment? Ha, ha, ha. This old man is cultivated for 1,000 years, defying heaven at every step. I trust only the sword in my hand. All disciples hear my command. Form the 10,000 swords absolute kill formation. Raise Konglin Zufeng Peak to the ground. It's over. Hmm. I just sterilized this bonsai, and it's attracting bugs again? Well, this time they're glowing flying bugs. What if they nibble on my premium moss? No, spraying insecticide could pollute the environment. For dealing with swarms of flying bugs, a physical windshield is the way to go. Little girl, witness this. My 10,000 swords return to origin, enough to sever mountains and rivers. Fall. Great heavenly venerable. A thief has disturbed your immortal fields. You are. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Perfect. No harm to the plants. No harm to the roots. Pure physical pest control works like a charm. The heavenly venerable just blew a casual breath, and 100,000 cultivators were blown away. Little girl, I chased the bugs away for you. If any more of these reckless flying bugs come to disturb you, just call me in your heart anytime. I'll be there at a moment's notice. Mushy humbly obeys the heavenly Tao's decree. I will guard this ancestral land well for the heavenly venerable. I would die 10,000 times without hesitation. The battle outside has ended. Where's that old villain Xiahou Wujin? Our Konglin sect's Zufeng Peak is safe. Lingus Wang, why are you all here? Sect Master, we were deep within the underground palace. We heard the thunderous collapse of heaven and earth's spiritual power. I thought the Shimming sect was using a world-destroying artifact to bombard the ancestral mountain. What on earth happened? The Shimming sect has already retreated. To be precise, they disturbed the supreme heavenly Tao who protects our Konglin sect. And with a single breath from his excellency, they were blown beyond the 9 heavens. Good heavens! Everyone look at the back mountain. Those are the Shimming sect's flying swords. The heaven-severing sword and dragon-slaying blade. There must be over 10,000 top-grade flying swords. Sect Master, our Konglin sect has struck it rich. Stop. These scraps of metal are the spoils of war. From the heavenly Tao's subjugation of the demons, our Konglin sect shall never covet a single shred of the divine's property. All of you hear my command. Pull out every flying sword scattered across the mountain. Offer them all to the heavenly Tao. Great heavenly Tao above, Mushy, has collected all 10,000 divine swords dropped by the demonic thieves. I wish to offer this essence of 10,000 swords to the heavenly Tao's great seal. Huh, that girl's efficient, sending me gifts again. Looks like those rows of needles for foot calluses. It's not iron, magnetic metal. Whoa, absurdly heavy. and it has special physical radiation and superconducting properties. No way. This is definitely a special alloy unique to the cultivation world. If I sold this to a hyperscience lab, the price would multiply dozens of times over. Gone just like that. The Shimming sect is a colossal behemoth. Within that 100,000-strong vanguard, there were a full 10 foundation establishment elders commanding them, not to mention countless war chariots and artifacts. They didn't even let out a scream, like grains of sand on the ground, just blown away. The hounds of the great Chu immortal dynasty. This time they've kicked a real iron plate. I heard from several rogue cultivators wandering outside Zufeng Peak, who sent word through their divine sense that after that battle, within 1,000 li of Zufeng Peak, the supreme heavenly Tao suddenly manifested. Now the spiritual energy there hasn't dried up from the war. On the contrary, it's extremely dense. It's even condensed into physical mist in the valleys. Anyone who approaches the peak's range has their cultivation bottleneck, stuck for over a decade, loosening on its own. Even the very air carries a scent, a pure fragrance that cleanses the fire poison of the demon palace. The spiritual energy is incredibly dense. It even condenses into spiritual objects, and it can cleanse fire poison. The Konglin sect. I heard the Konglin sect has always kept to itself. Now that they've suffered this calamity, with most of their disciples dead and their numbers dwindled, they must be desperate to recruit. If we go pledge our allegiance now, not only will we escape the coming chaos in the southern frontier, we might even earn the grace of absorbing pure spiritual energy. At the foot of Zufeng Peak, this is heaven's gift of a way out. Anyone who doesn't go can stay here and wait to die. Rather than scraping by in Luokai Market, better to join the Konglin sect, this thick thigh that fell from the sky. No. Sect master at the foot of the mountain. The entire mountain base is covered in people. Dense crowds of rogue cultivators of unknown origin. They've blocked off the outer rocky shores. Completely jammed, not a drop of water can pass. Lin Gus Wong, come with me outside the hall to take a look. Sectmaster, this is terrible. The Shimming sect's elites just retreated. Why are so many rogue cultivators here now? Could other mid-tier sects be joining forces to target us? Our Konglin sect is weakened. Are they coming to forcibly carve up our sect's last ancestral spiritual vein? Lin Gus Wong, don't panic. Look closely at their expressions and behavior. Though there are many rogue cultivators, there's no killing intent or greed on their faces. Instead, they carry a sickly fear and exhaustion. When they look at the lingering remnants of the heavenly Taos, divine wind and the heavenly Tao Grand Hall, the confusion in their eyes vanishes instantly. They're not here to fight. They're here to seek refuge and pledge themselves to our Konglin sect, the great heavenly venerable's divine victory in a single night, erasing 100,000 demonic cultivators. They've seen a glimmer of hope to survive. They know the Shimming sect can't touch the great heavenly venerable, so they've come to beg for protection. Our Konglin sect's ancestors were wiped out. Our numbers are decimated, and we're desperately short on spirit stones to rebuild the mountain gate. These 30,000 rogue cultivators are the heaven's supporting foundation that the great heavenly venerable has bestowed upon our Konglin sects. Revival. Ding. Current Sandbox population restructuring progress. 15. Dangerous. Ecosystem detected. Main quest line activated. 20,000, 30,000 holy. There are a full 30,000 plus dangerous little figures. That girl's got guts recruiting them all. Not bad. She knows how to build an army. As expected of my number one worker. With this mini flooding in at once, opening their mouths to drink water, supplies are going to be a huge problem. The base seems to be facing a severe logistics and supply crisis. Ah, ah. Secmaster. Secmaster, disaster. The back mountain. The Spirit Reservoir Lake at the back mountain has plummeted. In half an hour, it's now completely dried up and cracked. And that's not all. All mortal rivers within 100 li of Zufeng Peak, underground, spiritual springs, and hidden currents have all completely run dry. At the same time, not a single drop can be squeezed out. What did you say? Uh, how could the water suddenly run dry? Is heaven trying to destroy our Konglin sect? This is no natural disaster. I just used a blood escape technique to flee back from 100 li away. It's the Shimming sect. The Shimming sect's main force has made their move. The Konglin sect thinks that by invoking a mighty being to blow away our 100,000 outer cannon fodder, they can establish their own independence. This seat won't waste troops on a direct fight. This time I'll use the seasonal water severing, grand formation bestowed by the Azure Sky Crown. Without water, within 3 days, those 30,000 lowly rogue cultivators will tear each other apart, and then that thing will naturally fall into my hands. The Shimming sect's crime of annihilating our ancestors remains unavenged, and now they've driven countless fellow disciples to the brink of death. For a piece of jade to harm so many innocent cultivators, is it worth it? Father said before he died, it holds the ultimate secret of ascension. But who could have imagined this secret has now become a death warrant, summoning a tide of slaughter? Ah, great heavenly venerable above, your disciple is incompetent. If the great heavenly venerable can protect our Konglin from destruction today, and give these 30,000 desperate cultivators a path to survival, your disciple is willing to offer the sex forbidden jade pendant as a sacrifice to heaven. Ding. Detected malicious external interference in a microecosystem. External physical supply severed. Infrastructure. Main quest triggered. Channeling high-dimensional water. Insufficient. Reconstructing micro-drain water veins with hydroxide. Key intelligent anchor. Detected voluntary sacrifice of mainline heritage artifact. Initiating high-dimensional spectral deep scan and analysis. Don't ascend. Don't grieve. So this so-called cultivation, in the end, is just sending yourself to be fertilizer. They dare touch my worker and try to play the water-cutting game to starve me out? Great Chu Immortal Dynasty, is it? Today, this cheater of a heavenly venerable will show you what it means for a high-dimensional flood to wash over the dragon. King's own temple. Snow Ridge, the last crack at the bottom of Snow Ridge Lake, has completely dried up too. Even the last shred of moisture in the mud has been drained dry by the severed earth vein core. Beneath the rubble, heaven is destroying our Konglin, the shimming Sek's seasonal water-severing grand formation. It is the azure sky sword of the great Chu immortal dynasty, an ancient forbidden formation passed down from antiquity, unless a spirit transformation cultivator can forcibly shatter the formation's core with heaven-reaching power. Otherwise, this southern frontier, main vein, stretching thousands of miles, has absolutely no hope of revival. If the Konglin sect still can't solve the water crisis, even if we get ground to dust by that heavenly Tao demon wind, we'll charge up the mountain and fight for the last drop of water. Right, why should we wait below and die while they enjoy the cool breeze at the peak? The sect is incompetent. Don't blame us for turning against them. If no solution comes soon, before the shimming sect even makes a move, these rogue cultivators alone might wipe us out. The hounds of the great Chu dynasty, the demonic overlords of the southern frontier. You like cutting off water and sealing our fate, huh? High-dimensional, stable channel, fully established, material flow rate, physical throughput entirely directed by host personal will. High-pressure water source detected and in position. Begin transfer. Heavens, what kind of primordial monster is that? How can such a colossal origin treasure exist in this world? The grand formation is running smoothly. Within 3 days, those wretched, rogue cultivators on Konglin Ancestral Peak will surely tear each other apart, fighting over the last drop. Huh? Elder. Something's wrong. The sky is falling. The air, once dry and thick with fire poison, why has it suddenly become extremely humid? This terrifying pressure that can crush even the soul itself. What in the world is it? No, what level of divine power is this? Quick, activate the formation and intercept Zhuangming sect cultivators. Hold the line with everything you've got. No, this is impossible. What kind of water element divine power is this? Why is there not a trace of spiritual energy fluctuation? It is as heavy as a primordial star falling. Heaven has abandoned the southern frontier. The 3 great sects meticulously planned, supposedly unbreakable death trap against absolute physical gravity and modern industrial purity, was washed away into nothing but smoke. Via infrastructure main quest transfer, high-dimensional pure hydroxide substance successfully delivered. Current Sandbox modification progress, 15. A divine miracle. The fire poison from my chaotic, demonic art's backlash was instantly washed away and purified. This is a true miracle that transcends the heavenly Tao of this realm. We bow in gratitude to the great heavenly venerable. We bow in gratitude to the great heavenly venerable. We bow in gratitude to the great heavenly venerable. It's that great heavenly venerable hidden in the void. He has manifested once again to save the Konglin sect and tens of thousands of living beings. We have water now, but the rations for 30,000 people are completely gone. Water is here, but no food. we're still walking the road to death. If the Konglin sect can't provide grain in a few days, we won't even have the strength to lift our flying swords. How can we fight the Shimming sect then? Detected key intelligence anchor suffering severe food shortage. Triggering infrastructure emergency supply mission. Deploying high-dimensional, high-energy carbohydrate substance. Critical alert detected. 3 hostile external high-energy assassins infiltrating core base. Current female lead anchor faces catastrophic assassination risk. Please eliminate threat immediately. TSK can't win a fair fight, so you switch to sneaky assassination. Huh? System, if I drop a grain of rice down there, does that count as deploying carbohydrate substance? Can it crush these little bastards to death? System verdict, valid. Hybrid rice possesses high-density energy and absolute physical mass. Can execute supply delivery and physical elimination. Fine then, let me show you what a real sky-splitting, earth-crushing event looks like. That. What kind of world-ending treasure is that? Why do I feel a destructive pressure like a heavenly tribulation? Pain, 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 pain. Supply mission deployment. High-dimensional, high-energy carbohydrate substance successfully delivered. Base defense crisis resolved. Detected, anchor point secondary. Extreme seismic damage from high-risk deployment sandbox. Overall modification progress increased to 20. Southern frontier reputation reached. Rising fame. Beside the hall, it's gone. Great heavenly venerable. Did you just drop a primordial divine mountain? Spirit rice is a mortal grain. This is the legendary primordial high energy. One grain can cleanse the marrow and transform the bones, and completely satisfy hunger. Primordial saint-grade spirit grain. The primordial spirit grain. God has descended. The great heavenly venerable is mighty. The great heavenly venerable endures for eternity. The heavenly Tao barely survived that one. The great heavenly venerable not only obliterated the enemy assassins, but also used this primordial saint grain to grant us a seismic, supreme foundation to gather these 30,000 rogue cultivators and truly open a new era in the southern frontier. Open the mountain and distribute the grain. The great heavenly venerable bestows his blessing. All members of the Konglin sect may share the saint grain. Heavens! This is definitely the legendary supreme immortal energy. This plump, overflowing energy density is so high that low-level cultivators can't even imagine it. That surging torrent of heat instantly filled his withered meridians. The bottleneck I've been stuck in for 9 years just broke. The fire poison from my old demonic cultivation all flushed out. The rogue cultivators ate the saint grain and started breaking through. En masse, the famine and assassin crises are over. We won. The Konglin sect is about to rise. Ding. Intelligent beings, faith level reached 100. Successfully condensed the southern frontier's first sea of gold. Fortune, system shot points awarded, 5,000. Modification progress reached 20. Successfully unlocked high-dimensional basic physics rules. Targeted deployment authority. Electrified cultivation. Traditional cultivation relies on spiritual roots. But what if I throw electrical energy and physics rules into the mix? I'll just pump the entire mountain peak, full of high-voltage electricity. The three nascent souls. Grand completion assassins from the Nietzsche Assassin Corps. Even their soul tablets shattered. Not even a trace of soul escape fluctuation came back. Report to the Supreme Elder. It's not just the assassin squad. The core, river-diverting formation upstream, was also physically smashed to pieces by the pure floodwater. Our elite forces have suffered heavy casualties, and the Konglin sect's fortune is skyrocketing. The whole mountain is breaking through realms. Useless. All of them are useless. The seasonal river-cutting formation, laid down by the Great Chu dynasty's Qing Tian sword. Even for this seat to break would take 3 days of exhausting effort. And now it's been destroyed by a stream of clear water. If our shimming sect fails to retrieve the jade pendant within the deadline, the entire sect will be wiped out overnight by the dynasty's azure sky sword. Very well, this seat shall see today just which ancient freak of a spirit transformation cultivator stands behind your Konglin sect. With this seat's 500 years of lifespan as the catalyst, heaven's justice is clear. Karma flows in reverse, urgent as the divine law. Go. What kind of immortal energy is this? It has absolutely no impurities of heavenly karma. Whoever you are, show yourself, I warn you. Detected microscopic, low-dimensional energy attempting to breach spatial barrier. Reverse grind host reverse trace countermeasure. Automatically activated. Host facial image projected at high-dimensional constant HQ. Why is the magnifying glass all staticky today? Someone's looking at me? Ack, what is this? Why do my meridians just snap? No. Something is pressing down on me. This isn't human. This isn't spirit transformation. This is a true primordial heavenly Tao. Great venerable manifesting. The 4 sacred grounds have misled the Great Chu immortal dynasty. The southern frontier has been visited by a true god. Do not investigate further. Whoever goes will die. Whoever goes will die. Weird. Why are my eyes a bit dry all of a sudden? Did I crank the AC too high? Whatever. System. Those little guys are almost done carving through the rice mountain. That electrified cultivation you mentioned earlier. How exactly does it work? Fellow Taoists, the great heavenly venerable bestowed the immaculate sacred spring and primordial spirit grain, saving us from fire and flood, opening new opportunities for us. But the blood-deep vengeance of our Konglin sect remains unavenged. The Great Chu immortal dynasty treats us, scattered southern frontier cultivators, as livestock to be penned and raised. The 4 sacred grounds see us as nothing more than spirit, harvesting weeds and dregs. Though the shimming sect has retreated, the titans of the immortal dynasty may return at any moment if we wish to carve out a sliver of survival. Under these cruel laws, we can no longer remain scattered. Isolated ascetics. Sect Master Yun is right. Without the protection of a sect's grand formation in this man-eating southern frontier, we be waiting for death. This life of mine was given by the great, heavenly venerable, and sect Master Yun. From this day forward, advance or retreat, honor or disgrace, I follow the sect master's command. Let's fight those bullying secular heretics to the death. This is the divine domain of the heavenly Tao. Hear the decree of the Konglin sect master. From this day forward, the traditional distinctions of inner sect, outer sect, and personal disciples shall be completely abolished. First division, establishment of the high-dimensional energy research group. Those proficient in lightning arts, 3,400 cultivators of fortune and pure yang fire arts shall join this group. Your sole mission is to comprehend the thunder energy bestowed by the heavenly Tao and correct it to true principle. The cultivation energy required by all sect workshops shall be drawn down and converted by you at the peak of the main summit through dimensional descent and transformation. Second division, establishment of the material purification and superconductor group. Artifact refiners. 2,100 masters of metal and stone smelting shall join this group. You no longer need to forge magical treasures or weapons. What you must do is purify red copper or to the molecular level, following the micron level. Standard dimensions given by the heavenly Tao. Draw it into karmic conductive wires. Third division, establishment of the formation circuit expansion group. 1,500 masters of formations and earth veins shall join this group, coordinating with the materials group on every inch of Zufing peaks, cliffs, and every great hall. Use the purified wires to outline formation cores, capable of bearing supreme thunder energy, spanning the entire mountain range in an orderly, safe formation. Fourth division, establishment of the mortal industrial infrastructure group. The remaining 27,000 chi refining and foundation establishment. Cultivators shall join this group. Split mountains, break rock, fell timber, and reclaim wasteland. Within 3 days you must, surrounding the Great Rice, Sacred Mountain, and Spirit Reservoir Lake, construct 10 great heavenly Tao factory halls as the new core mountain gate of our Konglin sect, assembling wires, purifying red copper, and building integrated circuits. Isn't cultivation supposed to be closed-door meditation, clearing the mind and reducing desires, comprehending heaven and earth? Shut your mouth. How dare you question the divine oracle of the great? Heavenly Venerable, didn't you see the miracle days ago? The 10,000 Zhang silver dragon spewing immortal spring, and the great rice, sacred mountain, crushing the tribulation demon. Cultivators, the heavenly venerable says, pull wires. Then you get in there and pull wires. Where do you get all this nonsense? Damn, this execution speed is even more insane than top-tier construction crews. In the real world, using cultivators for heavy industrial infrastructure, this efficiency is absolutely absurd. The great factory halls are all built. Everything is ready. All that's needed is the east wind. Now that the skeleton is in place, without a core energy source, all of this is just a castle in the air. System, the great factory halls are all built. Since traditional spiritual energy, cultivation is a trap set by the upper realm for harvesting. Then next, let's give this microscopic world full electrification. For eons, the cultivation world sought transcendence and detachment. But now the Konglin sect belches. Black smoke with electric light flashing in all directions. It looks like a crazily expanding industrial base. A heavenly tribulation is a destructive riot of accumulated karma. From hundreds or thousands, the tribulation is over. Heaven wants us dead, Such terrifying dark red tribulation clouds, let alone us cheer-refining cultivators. Even if a core formational monster went in, they'd be blasted to ash within a microsecond. Don't panic. Full sect grid activation. Everyone to your positions. Pull the switch. High-risk energy group. Full activation. Factory insulation and lightning-proof formation circuit group. Connect and conduct. Red copper array by the divine oracle of the heavenly venerable. Traditional tribulation. Lightning is merely a slaughter blade that flays skin and rips souls. Today, the great heavenly venerable shall bestow true high voltage. Steadized on DC lightning. It will help our Konglin break through this hypocritical upper realm blockade. Upper realm tribulation. Oh? You like using thunder to scare my employees, obstructing my farming and infrastructure plans? Tribulation, tribulation, shattered in one breath, by the great heavenly venerable's supreme wattage, completely crushed. Energy group, pull the switch. Today, the great heavenly venerable converted tribulation, lightning into electrical energy cultivation. This electrical energy doesn't destroy the world, simply by slightly altering the arrangement of resistance formations. Within the meridians, one can control the intensity and flow at will. Traditional tribulation crossing myth, gambling your life at death's door. But Konglin Sect's electrified cultivation all depends on mana. How much voltage is entirely up to the cultivator themselves. Being court main quest, breaking traditional dimensions, tribulation lightning shackles, fully completed, Sandbox ecosystem, overall transformation progress, 25. Cultivation no longer depends on spiritual roots. It depends on body conductivity and meridian voltage tolerance. Old fogies of the upper realm, are you ready for the counterattack of cyber cultivators? Traditional cultivation methods emphasize absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth into the body, converting it into mixed five-element mana, but as the divine oracle of the great heavenly venerable revealed. This is merely the upper realm's ascension trap, an invisible shackle used to pin us in, but the heart method, the great heavenly venerable bestowed upon Konglin, completely abandons spiritual energy, replacing it with supreme, orderly thunder energy. This method does not speak of karma, nor does it look at fortune. It emphasizes the three great principles of voltage, current, and resistance. The balanced human meridians are in essence a natural karmic conductor. Traditional cultivation values spiritual root aptitude, but under the great heavenly venerable's principles, so-called spiritual root aptitude is merely the affinity of the body's meridians for electrical energy, no different from conductivity. Poor aptitude, body resistance too high, then use mana at the core nodes of the meridians to forcibly carve out parallel step-down formations and capacitor energy storage. Dantian reservoirs, as long as resistance is controlled within the optimal mana range. Even a mortal with no spiritual root aptitude whatsoever can channel high-voltage DC current into the body, forcibly expanding the physical body and mass-producing foundation. Establishment in batches, even core formation. Cultivation doesn't look at spiritual roots. It looks at cultivation path and voltage tolerance. The great heavenly venerable is merciful. This has opened a new path of ascension for the billions of rootless mortal ants across all worlds. All sect members, hear my command. From this day forward, all inherited miscellaneous cultivation techniques shall be completely abolished, and all incomplete demonic arts. All members shall convert to the great heavenly venerable soul. True Orthodox Transmission Energy Group, responsible for establishing the main transformer. Grand formation at Zufing Peak Summit. The divine thunder within the supreme divine iron. Main line shall be stepped down in stages. How much mana? Voltage is entirely determined by our own resistance adjustment. There's virtually no risk of chi deviation at all. Traditional cultivation relies on mutation and bloodline. My industrial cultivation only looks at body conductivity. System detected. Cultivation system has completed a historic overhaul. Successfully abolished the old world's incomplete karmic law system. Current Sandbox overall transformation progress increased to 30. Core main quest notification. Thunder energy fluctuations and rule rewriting have attracted extreme scrutiny from surrounding external forces. Host is advised to prepare accordingly. This cyber city of the heavenly Tao, roaring in the darkness with leaping electric light, hangs like a 10,000 zhang divine lamp at the center of the southern frontier abyss, radiating an irresistible, immense allure. The Shimming Sect's 100,000 demonic cultivator vanguard were annihilated before they even touched the sect's mountain gate. Even Yimo Shah, the old fiend who terrorized the southern frontier for centuries, all had their eyes blasted blind, and half their Tao foundation crippled. This Konglin sect is not to be trifled with. The most terrifying part is, the Konglin sect has mastered some kind of heavenly Tao. Direct current thunder energy. 30,000 rogue cultivators entered the sect. After flipping the circuit breaker a few times, they all broke through on the spot. An assembly line speed run produced a full 5,000 foundation establishment cultivators. 5,000 of them, enough in numbers to exhaust and kill any millennium old mid-tier sect in the southern frontier. We cannot wait any longer. The Shimming sect can barely protect itself. The Great Chu, Immortal Dynasty's armies are far off in the central continent. Once those blue-glowing electric weapons charge out, wielding thunder weapons, we will surely be reduced to ashes. Take every Hellbridge, offering from the sect treasury to the heavenly Tao. The Mountain Lord of Heavenly Sword Mountain in the southern frontier, along with 30 core formation elders from the sect, has come to pledge allegiance to the Konglin sect, offering to the great heavenly venerable what we have guarded for 800 years, 100,000 gene of 10,000-year pure core copper, or begging for the descent of holy light to grant us protection. 10,000 Flowers Valley offers 3,000 Danhart spirit, essence stones, and is willing to merge into the sect to join. The factory is workers. Why is this thunder energy so pure and clean, without a trace of the wild? karma and baleful aura of heaven and earth. Instead, it's as orderly as if measured by a ruler. So this is the heavenly Tao direct current heart method. Terrifying. The molecular structure of 10,000-year core. Copper ore is extremely orderly. In essence, it's just high purity. Red copper, Dan heart returning. Stones are exactly what the divine realm uses as the core for making integrated capacitor chips. Dan heart returning resources cultivators would fight to the death over. In the great heavenly venerable's eyes are nothing but basic industrial raw materials. The venerable is playing a game to completely rewrite the material foundation of the entire world. A grand scheme reaching the heavens. Valley master of 10,000 flowers. Mountain lord of heavenly sword mountain. The mineral resources you delivered. The great heavenly venerable has sensed them and is most pleased. From this day forth, you are permitted to establish industrial branch factories on the outskirts of Zufeng Peak. Any disciple who passes the bestowed cultivation method may connect to the factory's secondary step-down power grid to cultivate. Thank you for the great heavenly venerable's grace. Thank you, Sect Master Yun, for your great compassion. Hurry and dig out all these mineral veins. These are important materials for offering to the Konglin sect in exchange for cultivation resources. Well, these little guys really know how to play along. Not only do they come to work in the factory themselves, they even bring their own raw materials. Detected. Microsect has gathered large quantities of high purity, single machine form red copper foundation stones through external trade and diplomatic tribute. Evendidao feedback mechanism triggered main quest notification. Host may use the system store to purify and convert these microscopic industrial wastes into high-dimensional electronic components and bestow energy diplomacy rewards upon the micro-world. Since you're all so obedient, this cheater heavenly venerable won't be stingy either. Since the southern frontier's landscape has already fractured, then let this fire-burn even fiercer system distribute these 9 heavens thunder pearls. The Konglin sect's energy monopoly diplomacy, it's time to kick off. The heavenly Tao shines bright. The Konglin factory district has spoken. You have sincerely offered tribute and abandoned false paths. The great heavenly venerable descends. High-dimensional legal sacred relics, specially bestowed upon those who follow truth and serve loyally. That's the supreme God, who can see through 10,000 miles away with a single glance. Even the tiniest bit of trash that slips through his fingers is an unimaginable, unprecedented great fortune for us. And system, lock the output voltage of these button batteries and capacitors firmly within the safe electrochemical range. Don't let them drop and blow up. These little guys sex along with half the southern frontier. Ding! High-dimensional energy carrier conversion successful. High-dimensional mana seal completed based on micro-world constants. This object was personally refined by the great heavenly venerable, a supreme karma, sacred relic of primordial thunder Tao, bestowed upon you, the 9 heavens thunder pearl. Within this thunder pearl contains innate direct current electricity, refined to absolute perfection. Even a mortal ant with no cultivation whatsoever need only enshrine it. At the core array of their sect, the electric energy forcibly rewrites the violent thunder energy attributes. Within a 100-mile radius, the pearl's residual power converts into gentle direct current, allowing sect disciples to safely access electricity, cultivate without harm, and break through without loss. Most importantly, should the sect face annihilation, simply tear open the high-dimensional mana seal on the pearl's surface. Forcefully reverse connect the positive and negative poles, triggering a short-circuit annihilation. The world-destroying direct current energy will instantly erupt. A single pearl will erase all nascent soul manifestations, earth veins, and grand formations within 1,000 miles, all of it. Blasted flat in one strike. 1,000-mile nascent soul erasure. This isn't a magic treasure. This is clearly a law of causality that ignores all karma and grudges. A destruction plan. Heavenly Sword Mountain for presenting and being bestowed. One shiny silver button cell. Thunder Pearl. 10,000 flowers. Valley has passed wire drawing standards. Bestowed 2 pitch black capacitor Thunder Pearls. Sect Master Sien spoke true. If this thing really had its positive and negative poles collided within the sect, Heavenly Sword Mountain would absolutely become a molecular level. Petrified dead zone within 100,000 of a second. Thank you for the great Heavenly Venerable's reward. Heavenly Sword Mountain is willing to be the great Heavenly Venerable's hound for 10,000 generations, guarding the southern frontier's gateway forever. Sects that did not receive Thunder Pearls, do not be anxious. The great Heavenly Venerable's Dharma overlooks the world, as long as your branch factories. Cinnabar purification progress meets standards, and the wires you draw meet specifications. The great Heavenly Venerable's rewards will flow endlessly. Ding! Main quest initiated. Microecosystem energy diplomacy fully achieved. Sandbox overall transformation progress skyrocketed to 45. Warning, Microworld. Historical progression has undergone major, irreversible changes. Enemy situation again? That useless Masha not only lost the Jade Pendant, he got himself destroyed too. The soul purity of Southern Frontier Cultivators has suddenly surged 100-fold in the past 2 days. This is not an evolution that should occur. In a low-dimensional cultivation world, the core mission of the Sky Supporting Sword is to periodically purify high-level cultivator souls, refine them into Soldan spirit chips, and sacrifice them to the upper realm's main god, the Konglin sect. Now, they've actually regularized heavenly tribulations, spreading the heresy that anyone can break through to foundation. Establishment without loss. If everyone breaks through without loss, and their meridians no longer flow with the chaotic mana, controlled by the sacred grounds, then after ascension, what is there left to extract? They're digging at the very foundation of my great Chu dynasty. No matter which smuggled evil god stands behind you today, the legal authority of the great Chu dynasty will destroy you. This is impossible. What kind of demonic technique is this? Doesn't cultivation require karma, opportunities, and secluded bitter training? Why? Can they speed-run foundation establishment inside these metal houses? No, if this forbidden demonic art flows into the central continent, within 100 years, the ascension, tribulation pens established by the immortal dynasty will completely spiral out of control. It must be utterly destroyed. Who dares to privately leak chaotic karma and baleful killing intent within a Konglin industrial park? Seize them. A few mere foundation establishment ants dare to bark at this seat? Jodo, Heaven Patrol envoy of the Great Chu Immortal Dynasty, is here. The Konglin sect has colluded with an outer realm evil god to subvert the Immortal Dynasty's mana order. a crime punishable by execution of the entire sect. What the? Where did this little golden guy pop out from? And why is he damaging public property? Warning. Detected a central continent superpower, a spirit transformation. Stage detection anchor from the Great Chu dynasty has invaded the base. The target is attempting to destroy the low-dimensional power grid and transmit the Sandbox core. Confidential coordinates. If the coordinates transmit successfully, it will attract premature intervention from the central continent's supreme god and the ascended demon realm. 99 probability of Sandbox-based destruction. They even transmitted coordinates to the sacred grounds. And they want to tear down my utility poles? If I let this golden figure escape today, my farming base will be completely wiped out. Going to the Great Chu Immortal Dynasty to tattle. Are we? Cheat code Heavenly Venerable? Today I'll show you what high-dimensional information formatting means. Without even manifesting a Tao artifact, what dimension is this treasure from? That golden figure sure is quick on his feet, hopping around like a flea. Don't kill me. I am an envoy of the Qin Tian Jin and Tianan Order. The Southern General has descended, a great immortal from beyond, who can forcibly shred the fabric of magical space. Divine transmission to the dynasty. Mobilize the sky-supporting sword and raise the banners. All the mountain-suppressing steel, sealed at the bottom of the southern frontier. Grand Canyon, the puppet army, immediately rally all righteous and demonic forces of the southern frontier, all second-rate sects and ancient monsters loyal to the dynasty. Tell them this is the Great Chu dynasty's iron-blooded decree. Within half a day, I want 100 nascent souls gathered at Konglin, Zufeng Peak, and raise that heretical city that electrified the nations to the ground. Yes, that is something from beyond this world. Inside that jade pendant must be hidden. A supreme opportunity that could topple the 4 sacred grounds. If I can seize that pendant back, this seat can not only reshape my eyes, but even wash away my demonic nature and ascend. Send word to the Shimming sect. Deploy all elite forces. The dynasty's mountain-suppressing puppet legion has moved. That terror, which once crushed over 100 sects across the southern frontier. Sects? The great heavenly venerable is mighty, sure. But distant water can't quench a nearby fire. If we disobey the death decree, we'll be annihilated today. Aya. The southern frontier has always bowed to the Great Chu's laws. The 4 sacred grounds above cannot tolerate a minor sect. The Konglin sect is guilty of heresy, colluding with an evil god from beyond, subverting the ley line lightning energy. A crime worthy of sect annihilation. Any rogue cultivator within, whose self-funded electrotechniques may surrender as a defector and keep their life. Any who resist will be killed without mercy. Not a blade of grass left standing. Traditional cultivation treats us as weeds and trash. Now, the great heavenly venerable has bestowed the truth of direct current. Every man a dragon. The Great Chu Immortal Dynasty wants our lives. The 4 sacred grounds want to refine us into fuel. Since this ancient immortal path is destined to be a graveyard today, our Konglin sect's 30,000 cyber cultivators will rise up and defy these thieves. Heavenly Tao High-Dimensional Energy Group. Pull the main breaker to maximum replication mode. All sect cultivators, full output, meet the enemy. 100 nascent souls from the southern frontier, 30,000 iron puppets. The Great Chu dynasty even brought out their ancestral underpants. Grid output superconducting array formation. Hold the line, damn it. This is impossible. A strike that should have annihilated 100,000 rogue cultivators. Combined power. Its structure is being torn apart and shredded by the electromagnetic repulsion of this blue grid. Impossible. I mixed into that beam a 10,000 poison bone-dissolving liquid, capable of corroding even a nascent soul's dharma body. How could it be decomposed so easily by the Great Chu? Heavenly soldiers? A mere layer of lightning net dares to block the dynasty's iron cavalry. Mountain-suppressing puppet legion. Crush them for this envoy. Sect Master, Northern Plant Number Two's conduits are melting. The voltage reduction formation has collapsed by a third. Over half the energy group cultivators are dead or wounded. Don't retreat. Throw the backup breaker at Plant Number 2. Draw the great Heavenly Venerable's main quest energy. To hell with the Great Chu Immortal Dynasty, brothers. We finally lived a few days like human beings, and now you want us to go back to being your sacrifices. Blood slaves and alchemy fuel. The Energy Group brothers are all dead. I'll take over. I'll sect. Hear my command. Those who want to keep being slaves, kneel. Those who don't, follow me and bet our lives on this fight. Fight! Fight! These little spectators are putting on quite a show. The spiritual energy fluctuations they're giving off actually made my desktop warm. Now that the spectacle, fine, since you like brawling so much, cheat code Heavenly Venerable. Today I'll let you microscopic wretches understand, before the absolute constants of macroscopic physics, how utterly laughable your so-called 10,000-year cultivation really is. Wind. What kind of wind is this? There's not a trace of magical fluctuation. How is this possible? The spiritual power I cultivated for centuries is being drained away. One breath. 100 nascent, soul-allied cultivators, before absolute macroscopic kinetic force, are nothing but grains of sand under the scorching sun. since the four sacred grounds love harvesting soul chips so much, cheat code Heavenly Venerable will help you digitize your souls today. This seat refuses to accept central continents. For sacred grounds, sky supporting sword, my coordinates haven't. Southern Frontier, full dimensional purge there. The desktop looks much cleaner now. The Great Chu Immortal Dynasty. Old Demon Masha, even Ji Wu Dao, the Heavenly Patrol Envoy. The Great Heavenly Venerable blew one breath, and they just evaporated. Great Heavenly Venerable. The Great Heavenly Venerable's might spans 10,000 ages. Great Heavenly Venerable, eternal. Great Heavenly Venerable, eternal. Final battle. Main quest line fully formalized. External anchor points successfully established. The Southern Frontier's old order has been completely, purely physically erased. The Great Chu Dynasty's rule over the Southern Frontier is utterly severed. Congratulations, host Sandbox. Overall renovation progress surged to 50, successfully pioneering a new micro-realm ecosystem. Little ones, well done. My electricity and water bills weren't wasted after all. The Southern Frontier's tangible magical power was by an indescribable, overwhelming force, forcibly erased from the grand celestial map of heaven and earth. Not just the heavenly void envoy Ji Wu Dao, but also 30,000 true moon steel puppets and 100 nascent souls. Within 3 breaths, all karma, all traces gone, silence, as if cultivators had never existed there at all. 3 breaths to erase 100 nascent souls. Not even a single image was transmitted back. This is not a power any cultivator of this realm possesses. An evil god from beyond has crossed the great void barrier and forcibly made its move in the Southern Frontier. Transmit our supreme imperial decree from this day forth. Seal al spatial pasajes. From the central continent to the Southern Frontier teleportation. Grand Formation, raise a 10, 000, Lee Immortal, severing Great Wall, until we uncover the true nature of the existence. Behind the Konglin sect, this seat will personally contact the Tianxian sacred ground and report the derailment of the Southern Frontier's magical power to the sacred ground's ancient ancestors. Great Heavenly Venerable above, the Southern Frontier purge is complete. Next, this disciple will lead the sect's 30,000 cyber cultivators out of seclusion for the Northern Campaign to spread the truth of Heavenly Tao, direct current across the central continent and all realms. First season's starter village is done. I heard the central continent not only has higher tier raw materials, but also the great Chu dynasties, royal treasury, and the 4 sacred grounds. Alright, since the great Chu immortal dynasty loves playing blockade, this time I'll take my workers and officially kick off the cyber. Mechanical heavy industry ascension era.